Hey everyone, and welcome back to More Like This Media. We're doing a deep dive today into some of history's most bizarre and eccentric dictators.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah. You often hear that saying, strong men create good times. But as we're about to find out, that's not always the case.
Right.
Not by a long shot.
Not even close.
So,
Yeah.
buckle up, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the world of dictators,
Okay, I'm ready.
starting with Turkmenistan.
Yeah.
Now, I know a bit about this place, but renaming, calendar, months after a leader and his mother, even the word for bread,
Wow.
that's a whole new level of ego.
It really is. That sounds like something straight out of The Dictator, doesn't it?
Oh, totally.
But that was the reality under Saparmurat Niyazov, Turkmenistan's first president after the Soviet Union collapsed.
Okay.
This guy even wrote a book called the Runama, basically their version of a holy book. And get this, it was required for everything. It's getting a driver's license, landing a job, even ensuring your place in heaven.
Why, seriously? That's almost funny, but also incredibly oppressive.
Yeah, it's a strange mix.
Didn't he also do some seemingly positive things, like giving everyone free watches?
He did.
Trying to wrap my head around this mix of actions.
Yeah, he invested in infrastructure and even claimed to eradicate diseases like AIDS and cholera. But here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
He achieved this supposed eradication by banning anyone from reporting those diseases.
So it wasn't really eradicated.
Not really. It makes you think about the true cost of these achievements when they're built on suppressing information and silencing dissent.
Right. That's a great point. And then there's the air conditioner ban, right?
Okay.
In a desert country reaching over 106 degrees.
Absolutely, in a desert.
That seems completely out of touch with reality.
Totally. And his successor, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedow, had his own quirks.
Yeah.
Obsessed with cleanliness, he practically mandated white cars.
Really?
Plus, there was this strange fixation on breaking world records, the largest indoor Ferris wheel. There's people singing in a circle. You name it. He wanted Turkmenistan to hold the record.
It's almost like he was trying to put Turkmenistan on the map.
Yeah.
But not necessarily for the right reasons. What do you make of that?
It's a fascinating contrast. On one hand, there's this yearning for international recognition, maybe masking deeper issues. On the other hand, Turkmenistan has one of the world's worst human rights records.
Oh, wow.
It's a perplexing situation.
It's a strange mix, to say the least. Okay, let's shift gears to the Central African Republic and Jean Bedel Bokassa. This guy wins the award for the most outlandish title, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Self-proclaimed emperor, a coronation modeled after Napoleon's.
It was quite a spectacle.
That's some serious extravagance.
It was costing a fifth of the country's GDP, no less.
Really?
And this was while his people were struggling with poverty.
Wow.
But that's just the beginning. Bokassa had a dark side.
Okay.
There were rumors of him feeding people to lions,
Oh my God.
possibly even cannibalism.
And there's the horrific massacre of school children. It's chilling how unchecked power can twist into such horrific acts.
Absolutely. And what's truly frustrating is that Bokassa never faced real justice for his crimes. He died a free man despite the atrocities committed under his rule.
Oh, wow.
It makes you question how dictators are held accountable, or if they ever truly are.
It definitely raises some tough questions about justice and accountability. Okay, let's move on to Bosnia and Herzegovina.
All right.
Now, this one's a bit more complicated, right?
It is.
You've got the Balkan conflicts, long-standing tensions and hatreds in the region. Where do we even start?
To understand Radovan Karadzic, we need to look at the historical context.
Okay.
Bosnia declared independence in 1992, but Bosnian Serbs boycotted the referendum, which ignited the conflict.
And Karadzic, with that infamous look, was right at the center, leading the Bosnian Serbs.
Yes, unfortunately. While all sides committed atrocities, Karadzic played a key role in some of the war's most horrific events, including the Srebrenica massacre.
It's hard to grasp the sheer brutality of that event.
Right.
Over 7,000 Bosnian Muslims killed. And then there was the siege of Sarajevo. 4 years of relentless shelling, unimaginable suffering for the civilians trapped there.
The international response was slow and often ineffective, although NATO eventually intervened, and a peace deal was reached. But Karadzic managed to escape. He went into hiding for years.
And this is where it gets truly unbelievable.
Yeah.
He transformed himself into Dr. Dragan Dobic,
What?
this new age healer.
Really?
He even had a website, Human Quantum Energy.
Wow.
Really?
It seems too absurd to believe this man responsible for genocide rebranding himself as a self-help guru. It's a stark reminder of how easily appearances can be manipulated and how long the pursuit of justice can be.
It really makes you wonder. Okay, let's head over to Romania now and talk about Nicolae Ceausescu.
All right.
He started off with some promise, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Standing up to the Soviets,
Yeah.
gaining favor in the West, even knighted by Queen Elizabeth. That's quite the resume.
It is impressive, which is what makes his descent into tyranny all the more tragic. Many believe his visit to North Korea was a turning point. The lavish displays and personality cults surrounding Kim Il-sung seem to have a profound effect on him.
And that seed grew into a full-blown dictatorship, fueled by paranoia and extravagance. He established the Securitate, a brutal secret police force, while he built himself a $10 billion marble palace.
There's this chilling parallel between his obsession with avoiding poisoning, burning his clothes, having food tested, and the elaborate escape tunnels he built under his palace. It paints a picture of a dictator living in constant fear, trapped in a distorted worldview.
It's amazing how a leader can go from being admired on the world stage to becoming a figure of fear and oppression.
It is a cautionary tale. It really is.
And then in 1989, it all came crashing down. The Romanian revolution workers turning against him. Even the military betrayed him in the end.
It was a swift and brutal downfall. He and his wife Elena were captured, subjected to a televised trial,
Oh, wow.
and executed within hours.
It really highlights how even the most seemingly unbreakable grip on power can crumble in an instant.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It makes you think, what allows some dictators to hold on for decades, while others fall so quickly?
Yeah.
Is it personality circumstances, or just sheer luck?
That's a fascinating question. Speaking of dictators with larger-than-life personalities, didn't we have another one on our list who had a thing for extravagant displays? And a certain U.S. Secretary of State.
Ah, yes, Muammar Gaddafi. The Libyan leader was known for his eccentricities, to say the least.
His infatuation with Condoleezza Rice was well documented. Remember that scrapbook?
Yeah.
Oh, right, one filled with her pictures, set to a song called Black Flower in the White House.
Wow.
Definitely a bit odd. And wasn't there also something about him trying to convert a group of Italian models to Islam?
That's right. He flew over 200 models to his palace for that very purpose.
Oh, mighty God.
And let's not forget his all-female security detail, the Amazonian Guard.
Wow.
He certainly had a unique style both personally and politically.
Speaking of his politics, Gaddafi's foreign policy was, well, how do I put this delicately? Let's just say it was all over the map. One minute he was advocating for a unified Arab nation. The next he was at odds with other Arab leaders.
Right.
And his stance on Israel and Palestine was completely unpredictable.
Yeah, his ideology was flexible, to put it mildly.
And then there were the celebrity connections. Beyonce, Mariah Carey, 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah.
They were all paid hefty sums to perform for the Gaddafi family. It all came out in those WikiLeaks cables.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Talk about awkward down. But eventually, Gaddafi's reign ended in 2011 during the Arab Spring uprisings, protests, civil war, NATO intervention. It didn't end well for him.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
He was captured and killed by rebel forces, a rather brutal end to a controversial figure.
It's interesting how some of these dictators managed to hold on to power for so long, while others are swept away by the tides of change. So we've had dictators obsessed with cleanliness, world records, Napoleon. What other dictator quirks can you share?
Well, how about a dictator who was a former heavyweight boxing champion and claimed to have single-handedly conquered the British Empire?
Okay, now that sounds like a story. Who are we talking about?
Idi Amin, the so-called Butcher of Uganda. He had quite a collection of self-proclaimed titles. His Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal, Lord of all the beasts of the earth.
Wow, that's a mouthful. But the nickname Butcher of Uganda doesn't exactly suggest a benevolent ruler.
Sadly, no. His regime was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Ugandans.
Wow.
There were even rumors that he was a cannibal.
Oh my God.
Beyond that, his actions were often driven by paranoia and a relentless thirst for power.
So this boxing champion turned dictator with delusions of grandeur. How did his story end?
After years of brutality, he was overthrown in 1979, following a disastrous attempt to invade Tanzania. He fled to Libya, then Saudi Arabia, where he died in 2003.
It's amazing how some of these figures managed to evade justice for so long. Idi Amin certainly ranks high on the most outlandish dictator list.